Status rarely collapses in public. It decays in private, then reveals itself in public when it is already too late. It disappears through your habits, through the way you rush to answer, through the way you soften your words so nobody feels threatened, through the way you explain yourself to people who have not earned an explanation. You think you are being polite, reasonable, easy to deal with, but the world does not always reward softness with respect. More often, it translates your softness into permission. Permission to interrupt you, permission to test you, permission to rank above you. This is the part most people never understand. Nobody needs to defeat you if you are already teaching them how to reduce you. A man does not lose status only when he fails. He loses it when he becomes too readable, too eager, too available, when his presence no longer creates tension, when his words no longer carry consequence, when others begin to feel that they can ignore his boundaries without paying a price. And the shift is almost invisible at first. A delayed reply here, a joke at your expense there, a subtle dismissal disguised as confidence. People do not always attack directly. First, they measure, they provoke, they lean on your frame just enough to see whether anything solid is there. If all they find is the need to be liked, they stop treating you like a man of weight. They start treating you like a man who can be managed. Machiavelli understood that power is not maintained by appearances alone. It is maintained by signals. And the man who sends weak signals will eventually receive strong humiliations. So, before you complain that people overlook you, disrespect you, or speak over you, you need to ask a harder question. What have you been doing, day after day, that taught them they could? In the next 7 chapters, you will see exactly how men surrender status without ever noticing the exchange. Not through weakness in the obvious sense, but through behaviors that look harmless on the surface, explaining too much, reacting too fast, seeking comfort over control, making themselves emotionally available to people who should have been kept at a distance. You will see how respect is not lost in one dramatic collapse, but in repeated signals that tell the world you can be pressed, tested, and moved. And more importantly, you will see what replaces those habits: restraint, gravity, timing, and the kind of presence that makes people measure themselves before they speak to you. Let's begin. Most people misunderstand status because they confuse it with image. They think status is about being admired, being loud, being attractive, being socially skilled, or having some polished surface that impresses strangers. But status is not decoration, it is position. It is the invisible ranking people assign to you based on what they sense you will tolerate, what they believe you can enforce, and how much your presence changes the behavior of others. That is why some men walk into a room and nothing happens, while others say very little and still alter the atmosphere. The second man understands a law, the first does not. Human beings are always reading signals, not just words, not just achievements, signals. They study your timing, your reactions, your posture under pressure, your willingness to withdraw, your ability to stay unshaken when someone tests you. From these fragments, they build a conclusion. This man has weight, or he does not. And once that conclusion forms, people begin acting accordingly. This is where the quiet tragedy begins. Many men lose status while believing they are building connection. They become too accessible in the name of kindness, too emotionally transparent in the name of honesty, too quick to reassure, explain, forgive, chase, and accommodate. They think this makes them noble, but the social world is more ruthless than that. What it often sees is not virtue, but lack of leverage, not generosity, but surplus availability, not patience, but fear of confrontation. Machiavelli would have understood this immediately. He knew that power rests not only on what you do, but on what others think they can do to you. The moment people sense there is no cost to delaying you, ignoring you, speaking over you, or crossing your boundaries, your rank begins to drop in their minds. And once you are mentally lowered, every future interaction is filtered through that lower position. This is why the chapters ahead matter. Each one exposes a habit that seems ordinary, even innocent, but quietly drains your authority. These are not dramatic failures. They are subtle betrayals of your own value, and because they are subtle, they are dangerous. Men do not correct what they do not see. So, if your life feels heavier, your relationships less respectful, your voice less effective, and your presence easier to overlook, do not assume the world suddenly changed. Look closer. You may have been teaching it how to treat you. Chapter 1. Explaining yourself to people beneath the decision. One of the fastest ways to lose status is to speak as if your choices require public approval. The moment you begin over-explaining simple decisions, you send a dangerous signal. You tell people that your judgment is not enough on its own. You tell them that your authority becomes real only after it has been understood, validated, and emotionally accepted by everyone in the room. That is not leadership. That is dependence dressed as politeness. Low-status men are always explaining why they were late, why they changed their mind, why they said no, why they cannot help, why they deserve respect, why they reacted the way they did. They keep talking because they believe more words will protect them. But words do not always protect. Very often they expose. The more you explain, the more material you hand to other people. The more you reveal your emotional need to be seen as reasonable, the more they realize you can be controlled through disapproval. This is why powerful people are brief. They understand that every explanation creates an opening for debate, an opening for resistance, an opening for people who had no right to challenge the decision in the first place. When a man says, "I won't be available," and stops there, the statement carries weight. But when he says, "I won't be available because I've had a long week, and I need some time, and I hope you understand," and it's not personal, he has already lowered himself. He is no longer stating. He is negotiating. He is asking the other person to emotionally permit his boundary. And once you ask for permission, your status drops. Machiavelli understood that power is weakened whenever it becomes defensive. The prince who constantly explains himself teaches others to inspect him, to question him, to measure his confidence. The man with status does not rush to soothe every reaction around him. He knows that disappointment in others is not always a problem to fix. Sometimes it is merely evidence that a boundary has landed. This does not mean becoming arrogant or theatrical. It means becoming clean. Say less. Remove the apology hidden inside unnecessary detail. Let your decisions stand on their own legs. A short answer creates mystery. A firm answer creates structure. A complete answer, when nobody earned it, creates erosion. Because in the social world, people often respect the man who can hold silence more than the man who can produce reasons. And the brutal truth is simple. The more you explain your value, the less other people feel it. Chapter 2. The Trap of Instant Reaction. A man loses status the moment other people learn they can control his timing. This is one of the most overlooked laws of power. Most people think status is about what you say. It is not. Very often, it is about when you say it. The speed of your reaction tells people whether you are ruled by your own judgment or by their behavior. And if you react too quickly to everything, you reveal a humiliating truth. You are being moved from the outside. That is weakness. Even when your words sound strong, look at how easily men expose themselves. A message arrives, and they answer instantly. A criticism appears, and they defend themselves within seconds. Someone disrespects them, and they flare up on command. Someone withdraws affection, and they chase. Someone posts an insult, and they cannot sleep until they respond. They think they are being decisive. In reality, they are being handled. The person who controls your reactions controls part of your frame. Machiavelli understood that power belongs to the one who is hardest to provoke and hardest to hurry. Why? Because restraint creates uncertainty, and uncertainty creates psychological weight. When you do not react immediately, people are forced to sit with their own move. They do not know what you think. They do not know whether you were affected. They do not know whether consequences are coming. That silence gives your presence force. But when you react at once, especially emotionally, the mystery dies. Now, they can read the mechanism. They know where to press. They know what triggers you. They know how long it takes for your composure to crack. And once people discover your buttons, they stop respecting you and start experimenting with you. This is why instant reaction is so expensive. It feels powerful in the moment, but it lowers you over time. A high-status man has a pause between stimulus and response. In that pause, he protects his rank. He does not rush to answer every message. He does not defend himself against every misunderstanding. He does not reward every provocation with attention. Sometimes he replies later, sometimes briefly, sometimes not at all. Not because he is playing games, but because he refuses to let other people set the tempo of his mind. That is the difference. The weak man experiences pressure and obeys it. The dangerous man experiences pressure and chooses. And once people realize they cannot pull emotion, speed, or panic out of you on demand, something changes in the air around you. They become more careful, more measured, more aware that your center is not available for public access. That is status, not loudness, not aggression, control over your own timing. Chapter 3. The status leak of constant availability. Nothing lowers a man faster than becoming too easy to reach, too easy to access, too easy to consume. People say availability is generosity. Sometimes it is, but in most social hierarchies, constant availability is interpreted very differently. It tells others that your attention is cheap, that your time is loose, that your schedule bends easily, that your inner world has no gate around it. And once people feel they can reach you whenever they want, they stop treating your presence like something valuable and start treating it like background utility. This is where many men destroy their own rank while thinking they are being loyal, kind, or mature. They always answer, always show up, always make room, always keep the conversation going, always stay emotionally open, even with people who have done nothing to deserve that access. They become predictable in the worst way. No matter how poorly they are treated, no matter how late the message comes, no matter how one-sided the dynamic becomes, they remain available. That is not strength, that is surplus, and surplus is rarely respected. Machiavelli understood a brutal law that modern people keep trying to escape. What is too available is eventually taken for granted, not because people are evil, but because human nature adjusts downward. It normalizes access. It stops registering cost. The rare becomes valuable because it cannot be assumed. The common becomes invisible because it can. The same is true of you. If people know you are always one message away, always emotionally ready, always willing to rearrange yourself around their convenience, your status begins to sink beneath the surface. They may still like you. They may still use warm language, but their behavior will reveal the truth. Less urgency, less care, less caution, less fear of losing your attention, because they no longer believe they can lose it. High-status men understand that access must have structure, not fake distance, not childish games. Structure. They do not respond from compulsion. They respond from choice. Their time has edges. Their attention is directed, not donated. Their energy is not distributed equally to everyone who reaches out with need, boredom, or impulse. This creates something modern. People are terrified of creating friction. But friction is not cruelty. Friction is how value is felt. It reminds others that your presence is not public property, that there are limits, conditions, priorities above their immediate comfort. And once people sense that access to you is not automatic, they begin to approach you differently, with more intention, more respect, more awareness, because the man who is always available feels optional. The man who is not feels important. Chapter 4. The need to be understood. One of the most humiliating ways a man loses status is by making understanding his addiction. He needs everyone to see his intentions correctly. He needs every decision interpreted fairly. He needs every boundary understood in the exact emotional shape he meant it. And because of that need, he keeps returning to the same exhausting ritual. More clarification, more context, more emotional translation, more attempts to repair the image inside other people's heads. This is where many men become socially weak without realizing it. They are not defeated by open enemies. They are drained by their obsession with being accurately perceived. When someone misreads them, they rush to fix it. When someone judges them unfairly, they rush to correct it. When someone feels offended by a boundary, they rush to explain the heart behind it. They think they are protecting connection. In reality, they are placing their inner stability in the hands of outside interpretation. That is a terrible trade. Machiavelli understood that power begins to decay the moment your peace depends on being seen correctly by everyone around you. Why? Because the crowd is unstable. Some people misunderstand on purpose. Some distort to gain leverage. Some are too self-absorbed to care. And some simply enjoy watching you work for approval. The more desperate you are to control their perception, the more they feel the leash around your neck. Now, they do not need to beat you. They only need to misread you. And once they learn that confusion pulls you back into explanation, they can summon your energy whenever they want. High-status men do not build themselves on universal understanding. They accept a harsher law. Some people will misjudge you, no matter how carefully you speak. Some will resent your silence. Some will call your boundaries selfish. Some will twist your distance into arrogance. And none of that automatically requires a response. This is the lesson weak men avoid because it feels cruel. Not every misunderstanding deserves correction. Sometimes the strongest move is to let people keep the wrong story, then watch what that story reveals about them. A person who truly matters will seek clarity with respect. A manipulator will use confusion as bait. A low-grade mind will reduce you to whatever version makes you easier to dismiss. Why chase all three? Once you stop needing to be understood by everyone, something severe happens to your presence. It becomes heavier, calmer, less negotiable. You stop performing your innocence. You stop proving your motives. You stop bleeding energy into hostile interpretations. And then people feel the difference, because the man who must be understood belongs to the audience. But the man who can endure misunderstanding without collapsing belongs to himself. Chapter 5. The slow suicide of seeking consensus. A man begins to lose status when he cannot move until everyone feels comfortable with his movement. He wants agreement before action. He wants emotional permission before decision. He wants the room to feel smooth, calm, and approving before he takes a stand. On the surface, this looks civilized, cooperative, mature, but beneath it is often a deeper weakness. He is not preserving harmony, he is protecting himself from the discomfort of disapproval, and that fear is visible. People can sense when your decisions depend on their reactions. They can feel when your confidence weakens the moment resistance appears. They can hear it in your voice when a clear position becomes softened, padded, and revised just to avoid friction. This is how status erodes in groups, relationships, work, and even family. Not because you are wrong, but because you keep signaling that your will is adjustable under pressure. Once people sense that, they stop respecting your position and start testing its price. Machiavelli understood that power cannot survive if it kneels before consensus at every turn. A ruler who must be loved by all will eventually be directed by the least disciplined people around him. Why? Because the most emotional voices gain control. The most offended person becomes the hidden authority. The one who creates the most discomfort gets the most influence. And once this pattern takes hold, leadership dies, structure dies, clarity dies. What remains is appeasement. The same thing happens in ordinary life. A man says yes when he means no because he does not want tension. He delays difficult decisions because he wants better timing. He reshapes honest words into harmless ones because he wants acceptance. He asks too many people what they think because standing alone feels dangerous, and little by little, his center leaves him. High-status men do not worship agreement. They understand that disagreement is not always a crisis. Sometimes it is the natural cost of being real. They know that a firm decision will disturb people who benefited from their uncertainty. They know that boundaries often create temporary discomfort. They know that people who cannot control you will often call you difficult the moment you become clear. So they stop negotiating with every reaction. They listen when listening is useful. They adjust when adjustment serves the larger objective. But they do not dissolve their judgment in the emotions of the crowd. They can tolerate being the still point in a room full of restless people. That is why others eventually orient around them, because status belongs to the man who can carry tension without surrendering direction. The man who needs consensus becomes shaped by the room. The man who can act without it becomes the shape of the room. Chapter 6. The hidden submission of nervous humor. Many men lose status through a habit so common it is almost invisible. They laugh before anyone else does. They make themselves smaller before the room has a chance to challenge them. They turn serious moments into jokes. They wrap discomfort in irony. They mock their own ambition before others can question it. They smile while setting a boundary. They soften hard truths with humor so nobody feels the force of what was actually said. This is not harmless charm. Very often, it is preemptive surrender. Nervous humor is one of the cleanest signals that a man does not fully trust his own presence. He feels the tension rising, and instead of holding it, he tries to dissolve it. He senses that his words may carry weight, and instead of letting them land, he breaks their spine with a grin. He speaks, then immediately reassures the room that he is not too serious, not too intense, not too dangerous, not too certain. Why? Because he is afraid of the consequences of being felt. Machiavelli would have recognized this instantly. Power is not only the ability to act, it is the ability to let your action be registered without rushing to comfort the people affected by it. The man who cannot hold seriousness cannot hold authority for long, because authority requires tension. It requires moments where your words remain standing in the air, unanswered, unapologized for, unsoftened. But the nervous man ruins those moments himself. He says something true, then laughs. He sets a limit, then smiles too much. He expresses conviction, then undercuts it with self-mockery. He enters conflict, then performs lightness so nobody accuses him of intensity, and the room reads the signal correctly. This man does not fully back his own force. Once people sense that, they stop taking your words at full weight. They begin to hear your seriousness as flexible, your boundaries as emotional theater, your standards as suggestions. They may still laugh with you. They may even call you likable. But deep inside, they stop bracing for impact. That is the death of status. High-status men understand that humor is a weapon, not a reflex. They use it with control, not as an anesthetic for their own anxiety. They know when to be warm, when to be sharp, and when to let silence do the work. Most importantly, they do not rush to rescue others from the discomfort of their clarity, because not every room needs to be relaxed. Not every truth needs to be decorated. Not every boundary needs a smile attached to it. Sometimes, the most powerful thing a man can do is speak plainly and leave the sentence untouched. No laugh, no wink, no retreat, just wait. And the moment you learn to hold that weight without escaping into humor, people begin to feel something they did not feel before when you spoke. Consequence. Chapter 7. The Final Collapse. Nothing destroys status faster than the energy of a man who is waiting to be selected. Selected for love, selected for approval, selected for inclusion, selected for opportunity, selected for basic respect. The moment your behavior starts saying, choose me, notice me, validate me, keep me, your position begins to rot from the inside, because status does not live in the one asking to be picked. It lives in the one deciding what deserves access to him. This is where many men quietly betray themselves. They chase replies that are late. They stay too available to people who are inconsistent. They overperform in conversations that should have been mutual from the start. They try to be more useful, more agreeable, more impressive, more patient, hoping that effort will finally produce recognition. But effort offered from below does not create respect. It usually creates appetite. People begin to take more while valuing less. Machiavelli understood that the one who needs acceptance becomes easy to direct. Once others sense you are afraid of being excluded, they do not need to openly dominate you. They only need to become slightly distant, slightly uncertain, slightly withholding. That is enough. Your fear does the rest. You start leaning forward. You start proving. You start shrinking your standards to preserve connection. Now, your status is no longer being attacked. It is volunteering itself away. This is why neediness is so destructive even when it is subtle. It makes your center external. Your mood depends on response. Your confidence depends on reception. Your identity depends on whether someone else keeps opening the door. And when people feel that dependency, they stop seeing you as a presence and start seeing you as a petitioner. A high-status man reverses the frame. He does not move through life asking, do they want me? He asks, do they qualify for my energy? He does not panic when attention cools. He does not rush to repair every fading connection. He does not beg with words or with behavior. He watches. He measures. He lets absence reveal truth. Because a person who values you does not need endless demonstrations to remain clear, and a person who only responds when you chase was never offering respect in the first place. They were offering a slot, a temporary position, beneath their convenience. The strongest shift a man can make is this one. Stop acting like your value becomes real when other people confirm it. The moment you stop needing to be chosen, your presence changes. Your words slow down, your boundaries strengthen, your attention stops leaking. And people feel, often before they understand why, that you are no longer standing in front of them asking for a place. You are deciding whether they deserve one. So, this is how status is lost, not in one catastrophe, but in 7 quiet concessions. First, you explain yourself to people who never had the authority to interrogate your decisions, and in doing so, you teach them that your judgment needs their emotional approval. Then you react too quickly, and your timing stops belonging to you. After that, you become too available, and your attention loses scarcity. Then comes the deeper weakness, the need to be understood, the craving to correct every false impression, chase every misreading, and keep polishing your image in the minds of people who were never committed to seeing you clearly in the first place. Then consensus enters like a disease. You hesitate, soften, delay, and reshape your convictions until they are harmless enough for everyone else to tolerate. After that, nervous humor begins finishing the job. You laugh too early, soften the edge, dilute your own gravity before the room can feel it. And finally, beneath all of it, the most destructive posture of all reveals itself. You start living like a man, waiting to be chosen, waiting for attention, waiting for inclusion, waiting for validation, waiting for permission to feel valuable. And that is where status truly collapses, because the social world is always measuring one question beneath the surface. Does this man belong to himself, or does he belong to the reactions of others? That is the real divide. The weak man is externally arranged. His confidence rises and falls with response. His speech changes with pressure. His standards bend with discomfort. His identity leaks into the hands of anyone who knows how to delay him, provoke him, misread him, or withhold approval. He is not standing on a foundation. He is standing on negotiations. But the man with status is built differently. He does not over-explain. He does not surrender his timing. He does not make access automatic. He does not panic when misunderstood. He does not need the room to agree before he moves. He does not laugh to make his own force easier to digest. And he does not ask to be selected by people whose value has not even been proven. He becomes harder, cleaner, less available for manipulation. That is what changes the air around a man. Not performance, not empty confidence, not louder words, but the disciplined refusal to abandon his own center just to remain comfortable inside the minds of other people. And once that refusal becomes visible, something else happens. People stop sensing someone they can test. They start sensing someone they should measure themselves against. Most people will spend their lives trying to upgrade their image while their status keeps bleeding underneath. They will chase better clothes, sharper words, louder confidence, more social tricks, but none of that saves a man whose behavior keeps telling the world that he can be bent. Status was never about appearing powerful for a moment. It was always about becoming difficult to reduce. That is the real work. To stop explaining what should stand on its own, to stop reacting on command, to stop making your time cheap, to stop begging for understanding from minds committed to misunderstanding you, to stop asking groups for permission to remain firm, to stop laughing away your own seriousness, to stop living as if your worth begins only after someone else selects it, because the world does not rank you by what you say you deserve. It ranks you by what your habits reveal you believe about yourself. And whether people admit it or not, they can feel the difference between a man who is built from within and a man who is assembled by response. One commands caution, the other invites experiment. So the question is no longer whether people have been lowering you. The question is whether you are done participating in it. Because the moment you stop cooperating with your own reduction, the hierarchy begins to shift. Like the video, if you know respect is not something people give, but something your behavior either protects or leaks. Subscribe if you want more lessons on power, presence, and psychological control. And comment with one habit you now realize has been lowering your status and the one change you will make to stop it.